Welcome to the module demonstration for the defects module. The defect module of GRCPerfect tracks any project related defect. The defects can be generated manually here. It also can be imported through an Excel. It also can come from the schedule module with linked checklists and test cases. First, I'm going to demonstrate the defect add module and what are the features available with the defects module. To add a defect, you click on the add button. So for example, I have seen one defect which says server error appearing on adding a schedule. Suppose this is the defect that I have observed. If you observe, the defect ID is auto-generated but can be edited by the person. So you can edit it to say something like GRC demo defect 1, and then you can link it to an release of the project, which is like I'm linking it to PTG project. I can put a severity reference. I can put a priority reference. I can also assign it to a team member in the team. So for example, I'm assigning it to myself, and then the status is there. I can put a planned closure date. I can record actual closure date later on. I can also put a planned effort to fix this defect. So it's like 24% hours. Whether the external flag indicates whether the defect has been reported by client or internally. There is a type defect, which is basically whether it's a functional defect or a UI defect and all. Whether then the review flag indicates whether it came from review or testing. What cycle of review or testing it came. If we would have defined config items, we can also assign it to the config item. We can also put a primary cause, say like we can put it as skill or something like that. And then we can say detection phase is testing. Origin phase is say construction. So by doing all this, I click on add and this defect gets added. This defect also tracks the history of the defect. So as we go, we will see how we can update the defect status and see. Like we have added this new defect. So I'm going to the update button and I'm going to change something. Like now I have fixed this defect. I say this defect is closed and I say defect is closed, and I also put the closure date as today's date. And I say update. So as I say update, you see the defect history is updated. So this is how now since this defect is closed, you don't see it in the summary screen because by default it shows the open defects. But if I click on closed, I can see the closed defect. But for some reason, if you would like to take this defect to the time sheet and link it to schedule, you just need to do this. Select the defect, say create schedule. So once you do that, what it does is it goes and it adds this defect in the schedule module. So I'm going to demo that for you. So I have to see it in the tree view because it's easier for me. So if you go to defect module, you see the defect server error appearing on adding a schedule comes up as the schedule line item in the schedule. So it's already assigned to myself. So if I go to my self-service module, in turn I can see this particular defect. So if I go to APA development, see this defect has come here, and I can also record planned effort was 24 hours. Suppose I have already completed this defect and I have spent 9 hours today, and I just can say that and save. So it will also record the actual effort spent on the defect. So in turn, what we are able to do is to generate a defect in the defect module, take it to the schedule module, plan further activities on that, and also see it in the time shift module to record effort against the defect. So as you may also see that the defect has a lot of characteristics that we have captured for the defect, like we have captured the origin phase, detection phase, type of the defect. All these things can help the organization to do root cause analysis against the defect. It's also possible to export the defect and take it to an Excel sheet and give it to a client through the export button. So these are the primary purpose of the defect module.